when in the middle of the night, oh, when the back against the wall, me no have no friend at all. Jesus taught me how to. Why you don't wake up in the middle? Oh, in the middle of the night. I went me back against the wall. Gotta me no have no friend at all. My Jesus taught me how to pray. Pray, Christian. In the middle. Hey, wave your hand and you know what's in your belt. Push up your hand and you know what's in your belt. Push your hand and you know what's in your belt.
Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet Radio Station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica.
It's interesting that they say that people are concerned about their standard of living because they're talking about things that happened in the 90s. That's over 30 years ago. Young people who are listening, does that affect your life now? Yet still, they're not speaking about the scandals that young people, anybody 25 years and younger, would have experienced what happened with rural reading education, to the point that education is behind. We are celebrating as a country five subjects being attained by 19% of our children. That's 1 in every 5. Is your child one of the 5 that is attained in 5 subjects? And if your child is not, what is happening to them? Our standards are too low. What happened to the used car scandal? What happened to Petrodam scandal? And I'm sure there are many others. Come on, man. 30 years ago we're talking about.
Thank you, Mrs. Anderson.
You know, I really wanted the Minister of Health to focus on these issues, but him seem more preoccupied with dealing with FinSAC and other people's business. Because if he spent more time dealing with Cornwall Regional, we wouldn't have a $25 billion overrun. If he spent more time dealing with the hospital sector, when people go there, they wouldn't have to sit on a wooden chair for 3 days. And when they have to do an MRI or CT scan, they have to pay $50,000 for go. And the same ambulance for take them have to pay for it too. And them can't get toilet paper in the hospital. Our health sector is failing despite the amount of money we have spent. It is the inefficiency of the Jamaica Labour Party why we are here. We are going to ensure the dignity of Jamaicans who have to traverse our public health system. They have been failed by this administration. And that is why we are committed to ensuring that monies which come into the coffers go for the benefit. So when we look on the drill and we drill down, it shouldn't cost $31 million for a $3 million drill. Because what does that do? When you go to the hospital, you have to pay now based on that wastage, that corruption, and that inefficiency. What can go so, Jamaica? How can you feel comfortable?
There are currently no CT scan or MRI.
You know, I really wanted the Minister of Health to...
Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet Radio Station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica. Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion
Indeed.
with political analysts.
The man who is
We'll be
battling
live
for the
on
Jamaican people every day. Yours truly, Conrad OBrian, the fireman. They call me the fireman. Indeed, they say, Conrad, you know, you burn a bit of fire, but that's how it is. You know, we speak truth to power, no matter who the guy is. It's indeed a very beautiful morning here in Jamaica land we love. It is indeed the morning after that excited second political debate between the two major political parties, the PNP and the JLP. The PNP and the JLP. And indeed, what a showing it was from Julian J. Robinson and the PNP's team. Mighty God. Julian was on fire. Well, you know, little thing tried by the other side, but certainly the PNP won that debate hands down. We'll get into that and much more as we build out your program, your mid-morning #1 fix right here and radio and News Talk 93 FM, which is truly Conrad OBrian. Of course, we know that people start calling in already, but we will be taking your calls at 9:35. We will open the phone line. So just bear with us a minute. But, you know, that's how it is. The people want to talk to the fireman. And, of course, it's election 2025. That person is willing to hold for all of 35 minutes? We're taking the phone line, the calls at 9:35. So I'll tell the person, or you can call them back at when we open the microphone. All right, open the phone lines rather. All right. So that said, welcome to Straight Up right here and News Talk 93 FM. It's Wednesday, the 27th day of August, 2025. As I said before, my name is Conrad OBrian. They call me the fireman. We're coming to you live from the studios here at News Talk 93 FM, right here at Mona UWI. Indeed, we're located in the parish of St. Andrew, Jamaica. The numbers to call are 876-212-9824 and 876-426-0919. That's 876-212-9824 and 876-462-0919. Those are the numbers to call to get us on the program. Indeed, you can also send us an email. Well, you can send us a WhatsApp number. Then what number to WhatsApp us on is 876-594-7045. Send us a WhatsApp there to listen to us on your smartphones and device. Please go to the Apple or Google Play Store and download the News Talk 93 FM app. We also stream live via www.newstalk93fm.net. And to advertise with us, please call our sales agent at 876-427-9955. You can also send us an email at our sales department as well at newstalk93fmsales@gmail.com. So, that said, where are we going with the program this morning? Coming up momentarily will be Conrad's Take. And of course, at 9:35, we will open the phone line. We're going to be taking your calls all day today. And let me just say that my TikTok page is not up. I'm seeing where I'm unable to go live on TikTok. I've been shut down there. I don't know for whatever reason, but certainly that's it. So we're up on the Conrad OBrian Facebook page, and we're also up on the Make We Talk YouTube channel. That's the Jeffrey Tavares Make We Talk YouTube channel. We're there as well. So, all right, it's now 14 minutes after 9 o'clock. 14 minutes after 9 o'clock right here in the studios of News Talk. And indeed, welcome to another edition of Conrad's Take, my opening commentary. And I believe that, you know, the scenario, let me know if you're here, if you're hearing my voice coming through there loud and clear, Madam Producer, and the FB. It's my voice is up. You're hearing me loud and clear there. All right. So the truth is that we saw a debate last night, and the major television network and the various YouTube channel that they beamed last night, a lot of people carried it, and indeed we gather from all accounts that the listenership for that debate was quite good. So we await the numbers to see how it compare with others in the past, you know. But all in all, the scenario there with the debate is from members of the two major political parties. And the PNP side, we had Julian J. Robinson, we had Peter Murcott Bunting, and of course we had Keisha Anderson. Those were the members of the PNP. On the JLP side, we had Minister Favour Williams, we had Christopher Tufton, and also Dana Dixon. Dana Dixon, Dr. Dana Dixon. All right. Those were the three persons who represented the Jamaica Labour Party. And one of the things I really, not in a boastful way, but I pride myself that I come to the table with very deep and clinical analysis. That's what I do. And I said from day one, and I'm probably the only person who went out on a limb, because one of the things that we do, sometimes we're coy and we're timid in mainstream media to call it as it is. And I said from day one that the debate commission, in my view, did a botched job when they morphed the finance debate into a group debate. And I gave my reason for that. You have two people who are offering themselves for the second highest job in the country's political executive, that of the finance minister, only to be the only higher persons in the pecking order would be the prime minister. Therefore, I think that as the prime minister and the opposition leader, the two party leaders, will be going head to head. I believe that, you know, win, lose or draw, the two finance minister or possible finance ministers should be allowed to be out there strutting their stuff one and one. But in the wisdom of the debating commission, they said no, they're going to a group debate. And it is clear, absolutely clear, in my view from day one, that there was some move afoot to basically cover Favour Williams, Minister Favour Williams, because everybody anticipated that she could not match up with a Julian J. Robinson. And we saw it play out right in front of our very eyes last night. It's as if Favour did not leave her house. She did not show up for the debate last night, while Julian Robinson was out there in his Aki. He was a star of the show. And certainly, I'll tell you this, when you match you don't have to go outside of the box, but when you match Favour up against Julian as the two persons who are there head to head, the way Julian performed, even if the other two persons from the PNP did not show up at all, which they did in a big way, certainly the debate would have gone to the People's National Party. Peter Bunting was there as a hitter, hit quite a few six over the boundary. And of course, the question of the night came from the very quiet and astute Keisha Anderson. You know, the question that she asks, are you better off today? And Dr. Stokes weighed in on that, and he said that is where the rubber hits the road. Because guess what? all the hyperboles and all the things that the JLP was trotting out last night, the fact of the matter is that the people are not feeling it. It is what is on the ground. The people feel that they are worse off now. The survey shows that 57% of Jamaicans cannot afford a proper meal going to their bed. The 500 minimum wage that the government boasts about cannot take those people to work back and forth and to buy lunch. They are worse off now than when they were being paid $6,200 back in 2016. Those are the hard cold facts. They talked about the road that is being fixed. Believe me, I don't know who in Jamaica, the Jamaica Labour Party, can fool about the road. The roads are so bad. Even those that they attempt to put a patch into a patch. Right? And I'm telling you, those are the things that are hitting us hard. The fact of the matter is that people are still having difficulties with water. So the people are not feeling what the government is trying to say to them, or tried to say to them last night. And I believe that this Labour Party, led by Andrew Holness, have a very, very, very tough job to try to convince the Jamaican people that they should be given a third term. As it relates to the argument being made by the government and by those who were on the debating stage last night, well, not to mention the situation as Julian and Bunting put out there about the hospital. Our people are still sitting in wooden chair or wheelchair for upward of 3 days and unable to get a bed. Some of them are still lying on cardboard, and a number of them unable to get the most basic medicine in the hospital. That is the situation that this government has presided over. If you notice, Chris didn't even attempt to answer the question when they hit hard. They went for the juggler with him with the Cornwall Regional Hospital. He couldn't even respond. He was occupied in trying to make a case about Bunting and Golden and Daring, a registered licensed company, after he is there supporting a man to be prime minister who cannot be certified by the body that was put in place, to basically examine these files, cannot be certified. And let's just remind Jamaicans that all the work was done for the Integrity Commission to be put in place by the People's National Party. However, there was a change of government, so the government of the day was leave to implement it. But all the mechanism was put in place by the People's National Party. Also, this argument about the PNP and fiscal responsibility, it is just a lie out of the pit of hell. Let's examine what happened. In 2011, 2012, when the PNP took office, there was a IMF program in place by the JLP government before. That IMF program run into ruins. As a matter of fact, it was so bad that they didn't even bother to turn up for the IMF test. And the program went into disarray. The IMF basically abandoned Jamaica and said they would have nothing to do with Jamaica. Portia Simsimila, when she assumed the role of Prime Minister, leave her Christmas dinner and went to Washington, met with the Black Caucus. These are not hyperboles. These are not innuendos, call our listeners. These are hard, cold facts. The fireman speak truth to power. And we roll it out very, very thick. And we give it to you a little bit uncomfortable to some people, but that's how it is. So Portia Simsimila jetted off to Washington, met with people like Maxine Walters, who and the Black Caucus and asked them to engage Christine Lagarde, the then head of the IMF. Right? It was hard slugging. While the JLP was saying sign any agreement, the PNP hell-bent that no, they could not just sign any agreement. They have to look for the best standby agreement for Jamaica. They ended up signing a standby agreement. And guess what? The IMF said that based on how the JLP administration handled the previous agreement, the PNP would have to do the heavy lifting up front before they disbursed $1. Therefore, they put some regulations out there, such as they had to take that 12.4 billion from the housing trust to assist with certain balance of payment and so on to bolster the budget. They also came up with EPOC, and they had to put certain legislative measures in place to keep us on a trajectory to the debt payment. So therefore, the paying down of the debt that the JLP is boasting about, whether it was the PNP or the JLP, they were duty bound to do that because those were actually crafted and set in law with the agreement with the previous PNP administration. And that is where the downward trajectory of the debt started. We live here. We're not fools. We read. We study these things. We know. So no amount of woodwinking is going to work or pulling any wools over our eyes. It won't happen. And it won't happen, for example, when somebody like myself is behind the microphone here in Jamaica, because I am going to continue to educate and to inform my people. You may be a little bit entertained during the process, but the main focus is to inform and educate. That is what we do right here at News Talk 93 FM when yours truly, Conrad OBrian, is behind the microphone. Now, the fact is that, you know, we want to say, we want to give credit for continuity, but it must be known that the continuity did not happen as a result of choice. It was as a result of the mechanism that was put in place by the previous PNP administration. Here's the thing. Again, that Julian came up with heavily last night, because whenever things happen put forward to benefit the Jamaican people who did the heavy lifting, we always cry foul. Know that the people had made the sacrifice, the public sector workers. The PNP is saying, no, it is about time that we look at you in a special way. So people like the teachers, the doctors, the police officers, the firemen, the nurses, the security guards, and all of them. And that is why they had gone for overtime pay will not be taxed. That's a game changer. The 3.5, it's a game changer as well. That's Conrad's take. Stay with me.
You know, I really wanted the Minister of Health to focus on these issues, but him seem more preoccupied with dealing with FinSac and other people's business. Because if he spent more time dealing with Cornwall Regional, we wouldn't have a $25 billion overrun. If he spent more time dealing with the hospital sector, when people go there, they wouldn't have to sit on a wooden chair for 3 days. And when they have to do an MRI or CT scan, they have to pay $50,000 for go. And the same ambulance for take them have to pay for it too. And them can't get toilet paper in the hospital. Our health sector is failing despite the amount of money we have spent. It is the inefficiency of the Jamaica Labour Party why we are here. We are going to ensure the dignity of Jamaicans who have to traverse our public health system. They have been failed by this administration. And that is why we are committed to ensuring that monies which come into the coffers go for the benefit. So when we look on the drill and we drill down, it shouldn't cost $31 million for a $3 million drill. Because what does that do? When you go to the hospital, you have to pay now based on that wastage, that corruption, and that inefficiency. What can go so, Jamaica? How can you feel comfortable?
There are currently no CT scan or MRI.
Are under investigation for illicit enrichment. I, Julian J. Robinson, can categorically state, I am not under investigation. Can the three of you say that? We need growth. Are under investigation for illicit enrichment. I, Julian J. Robinson, can categorically state, I am not under investigation. Can the three of you say that? We need...
Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet radio station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica.
You can trust that when you send me to Parliament, you're not have a bench warmer or a table knocker, but you have a champion who is ready to serve you. And so I do not have to ask. But I know no one me ask anyway. Northwest, St. Anne, are you ready? See the signal waving in the sky. Reinforcements now appearing. Victory.
Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet radio station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica.
Are under investigation for illicit enrichment. I, Julian J. Robinson, can categorically state, I am not under investigation. Can the three of you say that? We need growth. Are under investigation for illicit enrichment. I, Julian J. Robinson, can categorically state, I am not under investigation. Can the three of you say that?
Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet radio station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica. Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd,
Thanks for staying with us. It's indeed Wednesday, the 27th day of August 2025. And certainly, it's about 7 days before we go to the polls? Yeah, about 7 days before Jamaicans go to the poll. I think it's the 19th. It is the 19th general election. I think so. Since independence, that's it. We'll check it. 19. We're checking that. Check that for my madam producer. Just Google find out that it's 19th. Certainly, we will. If Mark Golden become prime minister, he will be the 10th prime minister of Jamaica. Andrew Wallace is the 9th, so Mark will be the 10th. And from all indication, it seems as if we will be ushering the 10th prime minister into Jamaica House. Hello, welcome, caller. Caller? Not hearing the call. Let's see, caller. Caller is there. All right. The number is 876-212-9824. That's 876-212-9824, 876-462-0919. Remember, we're taking your calls all day today. So tell your family, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, the fireman is on, and we are taking your calls. Hello, welcome, caller. Caller? I'm not hearing the call at all. Check and see what's going on there, Madam Producer. We're trying to get that up. Is the you press the I don't know what's going on, but we try to get that up. Hello, caller. I don't know what is happening. Find out if the caller is there. Caller is there, but I don't know. Something is going on. We're trying to fix that. All right. In the meantime, while we get that going, the caller is still there? Not there anymore. Well, all right. In the meantime, the Observer on its front page is saying Jamaica 10 billion underspend, threatened growth, says Fiscal Commission. All right. Oh, okay. All right, we're trying to navigate. So Fiscal Commissioner rather, Courtney Williams has raised significant concern regarding the Jamaican government's chronic failure to execute its capital expenditure budget, warning it directly undermine the country's economic growth strategy. All right, and that is so true. You know, you can't have that going. We need to fix all of those bureaucracy, those red tapes that basically hinders that, so that we can have the spend to benefit the Jamaican people. Regional Tourism Minister honored American for outstanding support. Sanders South Coast roll out red carpet for some folks here. All right, hello, caller. I don't know what's happening there, Michelle. Apparently, not getting something right there this morning at all. So, while you do that, let's see what happened. And of course, integrity lamp falling. ECJ rubbish Campbell's plan to allow PNP workers to verify IDs at polling station. And PNP continue to hammer JLP on corruption. All right. So it is clear that the PNP is not letting go of this corruption scenario, and they continue to call out the Prime Minister in a big way on that. So all in all, that's where the direction is going. That's where the direction the campaign is going. The JLP is trying to convince the people, on the other hand, that they have delivered. But guess what? When the rubber hits the road as to what people are feeling, certainly the people are not comforted that they are better off now than they were in 2016. Cancer Santa needed. Hello, caller? Still not hearing the callers at all. My regular producer is not in this morning, and my regular person at the board not in this morning, so I don't know if it's from that vantage point, but we certainly have some issues in getting the call up on the set. The callers are there, but not getting them at all coming through. So just bear with us and see if there's something that we're trying to see if to navigate that. All right. So cancer survivors or survivors, doctors celebrate support for pink run, but point to recurring screening shortfalls. All right, so we are encouraging our ladies to go out there and ensure that you get your screening done, because cancer is certainly, especially breast cancer, it is something that is quite prevalent right here in Jamaica. Caller? Michelle, that's probably there is something on the board that does not happen. You want all right. So what we're going to do, let's take a little all right, let's go. Wait, let me continue to see what we can do here. It's a tight scenario here, so I just have to continue to. Grounded, Jamaica Post halt U.S. bound parcel amid tariff changes. So that's that we are now seeing the impact of the tariff being levied by the Trump administration. And that is, Trump had basically telegraphed during his campaign what his hands would be like. And we're feeling the weight of his hands now, and it's now filtered down to us right here in Jamaica. So all those Jamaicans who were out there chomping at the bit, as it were, and that's a direct play there, chomping at the bit, and went out and voted for Donald Trump. Now you see what happened, right? And it's going to get even worse. People who are properly in the United States with green cards and so on, if they don't have to go on the road, they just don't go, because, you know, they are just fearful. Maybe they will not be deported, but just the mere fact of being stopped by, you know, police, the ICE and so on, and being interrogated, they're trying to avoid those things. So Dr. Christine Hendricks, Executive Director of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, calls grow for better access for persons with disabilities at the polls. All right. And of course, you know that the highest and most popular person with disability here in Jamaica is Floyd Morris, the man who it is opined will be the next Minister of Government. And certainly he has been talking about access to our roadway, our workplaces, and so on for people with disabilities. And this must dovetail into this. So the government-run entity that represent the interests of persons with disability is trusting that their experience casting ballots in the next general election will be better than past polls. A top executive has indicated. This caution comes despite a series of consultation and training sessions between the Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ, and the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disability, JCPD. Both entities confirmed yesterday. I cannot guarantee 100% that the people with disabilities will not face challenges, because there are also barriers. Dr. Christy Hendricks, Executive Director, told the Gleaner yesterday. So all in all, there are concerns continue to loom as it relates to access for our citizens with disabilities here in Jamaica. And inside the Gleaner on page A2, JLP's lower aims for 2,500 votes in PNP Boston. The name is spelled L-O-R-N-E, Lorne, JLP Lorne, aims for, so Maureen Lorne, or Lorne, L-O-R-N-A, Maureen Lorne, insist that when the ballots are counted in St. Andrews Southwestern and election night, Jamaica will witness that the unmistakable writing on the wall, a PNP stronghold of nearly 4 decades, is on its way back to the Jamaica Labour Party. All right? In the 2020 general election, Lauren managed just 628 votes against Angela Brown Burke, that is the Portia Simpson Miller constituency there, Brown Burke commanding 7,050 votes. This time, however, she has set herself a bold target. I want to get 4 times the number of votes I got in 2020, and I am getting feedback which makes me confident that that will happen, she declared. Over the last 5 elections, the JLP has secured a combined 3,104 votes in the constituency. Its best showing being 702 in 2016. So let's see how that will go. And of course, there's also a picture of Joseph Bonnie Witter here as well. Bonnie takes on the Green Giant. So that's the Western Kingston seat there. That Bonnie Witter is running it. If there is one name that has become synonymous with persistence in the Jamaican politics, it is Joseph Bonnie Witter. Despite never winning an election, the People's National Party, PNP, standard bearer, has carved out a reputation as one of the island's most recognizable candidate. All right, that's good. So Bonnie has his notoriety there. And a native of downtown Kingston, Witter first entered the fray in 2002 when he went up against the then leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, Edward Seaga, in Western Kingston. Since then, he has faced formidable opponents, losing by wide margin to former Prime Minister Bruce Golding, as well as to the constituency long-serving Representative Desmond McKenzie. You can look at more of that story on page A2. That is basically featured 2 candidates here, one from the Jamaica Labour Party, Lauren from the Jamaica Labour Party, who is going up against Angela Brown Burke, and also Bonnie Witter of the PNP is going up against Desmond McKenzie. So all in all, they are giving those persons some highlight there. And that is why last week or the week before, I had Bonnie Witter here on the program, because I believe that even though it may have been an uphill task, but we should highlight everybody, not just pick out those who are, in seats that are winnable or safe seats, but we highlight everyone there. So that's the fair play that we bring to here. And the Gleaner have a very interesting editorial this morning, tax policy debate. And of course, that's a big debate that is basically going on now in the run-up to the election on September 3rd by both political parties. And it says there's a letter of the day. Read about freedom before it is extinct. All right. So encourage you to look at those. And Burger King Scholarship Award is inspired to live out ultimate dream. All right. So that's cool. Let's move to the Observer once again. Well, on the sports page of the Gleaner, something is not right. Clubs worry over timing of Hill's resignation. Consider it a blowout to the JPL, a blow to the JPL. All right, so it's the Hill is basically stepping back there, and certainly it is argued that the club may not agree to accept his resignation, but so it is. So Mount Pleasant Foster says team is ready for away game, and that's Mount Pleasant Football Academy goalkeeper Kemar Foster says the team is fully prepared to deliver a strong performance in today's CONCACAF Caribbean Cup group showdown against Mocha FC, the host club in the Dominican Republic. All right, so let's see how that will go, if the Jamaican outfit will basically prevail there in that setup today. I did share with you the PNP continue to hammer JLP and corruption. That's in the Observer. And I also share with you the integrity lamp situation there that Dr. Campbell raised, and the EOJ, the ECJ. It said the ECJ rubbish Campbell's plan to allow PNP workers to verify IDs at polling station. I think that question was asked by one of our callers here yesterday, and I did mention that I wasn't sure, but I think that Dr. Campbell would have, would have cleared some of those hurdles. So we're hearing that it's a no-go, because the only person who will be able to use the integrity lamp there will be the presiding officer, and that is the one that will be provided by the electoral authority or the election authorities. All right, so no Commonwealth observer for Jamaican election. All right, the Commonwealth Secretariat will not be among the observers when Jamaica go to the poll on September 3rd. All right, a Commonwealth Observer Group, COGG, has long been a feature of elections in region, and the team is now in Guyana. Very interested as to why is there no observer in this election. All right, so islandbet.com votes bet who will win the who will win the constituency MP seat. All right, so, and we're seeing JLP and PNP. These are Frank Witter, Norman Scott, Floyd Green, Miranda Wellington, Heroy Clark, Janice Allen, Homer Davis, Nikisha Burchell, Tova Hamilton, Wickham McNeil. Very, very interesting constituencies there. And these are some of the seats that will be watched election night. As for my money right off the bat, I would bet on Wickham McNeil for Northern Trelawney to take that one over Tova Hamilton. Also for St. James Southern, my money is on Nikisha Burchell. She will win that one fairly comfortable. That will go back to the People's National Party. And from all account, I think that the former Senator Janice Allen is going to be very, very hard pressed there as it relates to her going up against Heroy Clark. But from all indication, when I last went into Montego Bay or into St. James, it seems as if something is certainly happening there with the PNP. So the PNP is basically believe that they could flip this one in St. James Central, and Janice Allen could basically be the winner on the night of election, because the PNP believe that the wind is beneath their back, and certainly St. James is coming back to the People's National Party. Also, these two weather vane seats down there in St. Elizabeth, the St. Elizabeth Southeastern, Norman Scott going up against Frank Witter, and also St. Elizabeth, Southwestern, Floyd Green up against Miranda Wellington. I believe that those two seats will go back to the column of the People's National Party, because from all indication, the People's National Party will form the next government, and those two weather vane seats normally play a pivotal role there. One would remember the last time when Christopher Tufton was there, and the young Buchanan basically took home that seat for the People's National Party by a slender margin, but nonetheless he overall about 2,000 plus votes to take the seat home by about 13 votes or so. That was in 2011, 2012 there, and indeed come back in 2016, Floyd Green took back that seat home for the Jamaica Labour Party. So one can understand the scenario there. And of course, it was a similar situation over there in the southeast as well. One would remember Mr. Parchment, he lost that seat to Franklin Witter, and he actually took it. Who was the standard bearer there for the JLP before? I think Franklin was the winner, was the person who he beat then, and then Witter came back and took it back for the Jamaica Labour Party in 2016. He has now been there for the last 2 terms, the last 10 years or so. So all in all, there are some seats that normally play true to the weather vane situation there whenever the tides are changing in Jamaica. Also, I'm surprised that St. Mary, where Bobby Montague is, St. Mary seat there is not here, because that's also another weather vane seat that normally go to the winner. And I gather that Bobby is under immense pressure down there from Woodbine, who is certainly a newcomer to representational politics. The veteran Bobby Montague certainly under pressure. Looking at Bobby these days, not look as a happy camper at all, because that is under tremendous heat, and the entire St. Mary is poised to go to the People's National Party. The PNP is saying that, listen, they look impregnable there, and it seems as if it will be 3-0 for the People's National Party. All right, the lines are open. We're going to try again to see if we get it up. So let me give you the numbers, and we're up on the break. All right, let's go to we're going to go to the break, and then when we come back from the break, the 10 o'clock break, then certainly we will reopen the phone lines. All right, so stick and stay with us right here at News Talk 93.
Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet Radio Station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica.
Are under investigation for illicit enrichment. I, Julian J. Robinson, can categorically state I am not under investigation. Can the three of you say that? We need growth. Are under investigation for illicit enrichment. I, Julian J. Robinson, can categorically state I am not under investigation. Can the three of you say that? Well, the first thing I'm going to say, we are going to treat public sector workers with respect and dignity. I won't talk to the JTA president like the Minister of Education and say him performing at his conference. That is disrespect. Disrespect is when you need to get a meeting, you have to get restive and threaten strike action. The fiscal policy paper has, in its first year, 9%. In the second year, 6%. In the third year, 6%. They have offered 0. That is not an offer. We will do better. But by lifting the income tax threshold to 3.5 million, we are easing the pressure. We easing the pressure on our nurses. We easing the pressure on our policemen. We easing the pressure so that more money will be in their pockets. They have a history of dealing with civil servants with disrespect. You right now have two sets of civil servants in the same office doing the same thing and earning different salaries. A whole set of anomalies that arose from the public sector compensation review. They haven't addressed it. There's supposed to be a meeting tomorrow with the JCTU and you cancel it. They are the ones who treat them with disrespect. We have a history of working with our public sector in the interest of this country, and we will continue to do so. So when we come into office, it will be better than 0% because there is money in the budget to provide better for public servants.
Vote them out! Vote them out! Vote them out! You know why? You know why? You know why? You must vote them out? Not because of JLP. God don't like us.
Are under investigation for illicit enrichment. I, Julian J. Robinson, can categorically state, I am not under investigation. Can the three of you say that?
Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes internet radio station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica.
Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. You know why? You know why? You know why? You must vote them out? Not because of JLP. God don't like us.
I'm thinking, yes, as a political commentator, a political observer, watching, looking on at this moment, PNP won tonight. Yeah? Julian Robinson, just a moment. Julian Robinson, yes, again, expectations. Very important in terms of how the public will assess. Julian delivering crucial. Not usually like this. He's usually soft-spoken. Yes. Tonight you saw a Julian Robinson who was on the attack, shouting. Yeah. I think that would go over well with his base. Yeah. And as such, they're gonna say, "Boy, Julian, come out tonight."
A common misconception is that on election day, you vote for the Prime Minister. However, that is not the case. You vote for your Member of Parliament. Welcome to Notify. Let's break down what really happens at the polling stations. First things first, you must be 18 or older, a Jamaican citizen or Commonwealth resident, and you must be registered with the Electoral Office of Jamaica. On election day, go to your polling station between the times announced. Present your voter's ID, and this will be checked against the voters list. Once verified by the presiding officer, you'll be able to cast your vote. Some polling stations might be using EVIS, the Electronic Voter Identification System, where you will be asked to place a specific finger on a fingerprint scanner to verify your identity. Inside the polling station, you will be provided with a pencil, which you will use to mark an X beside the candidate of your choice. This person will represent your constituency and become your Member of Parliament. After that, you'll dip your right index finger in ink to show that you've cast your vote. Ensure that you watch as the presiding officer places your unopened ballot into the ballot box. Remember, you're voting for your Member of Parliament and not directly for the party leader, unless they are your Member of Parliament. The party leader that wins the most seats across all 63 constituencies becomes the Prime Minister. Once you've made your vote, it's time for the Electoral Office of Jamaica to count the ballots. Stay tuned to
Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet Radio Station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica.
Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. You know why? You know why? You know why? You must vote them out. Not because of JLP. God don't like us.
Are under investigation for illicit enrichment. I, Julian J. Robinson, can categorically state, I am not under investigation. Can the three of you say that? We need... You know, I really wanted the Minister of Health to focus on these issues, but him seem more preoccupied with dealing with FinSac and other people's business. Because if he spent more time dealing with Cornwall Regional, we wouldn't have a $25 billion overrun. If he spent more time dealing with the hospital sector, when people go there, they wouldn't have to sit on a wooden chair for 3 days. And when they have to do an MRI or CT scan, they have to pay $50,000 for go. And the same ambulance for take them have to pay for it too. And them can't get toilet paper in the hospital. Our health sector is failing despite the amount of money we have spent. It is the inefficiency of the Jamaica Labour Party why we are here. We are going to ensure the dignity of Jamaicans who have to traverse our public health system. They have been failed by this administration. And that is why we are committed to ensuring that monies which come into the coffers go for the benefit. So when we look on the drill and we drill down, it shouldn't cost $31 million for a $3 million drill. Because what does that do? When you go to the hospital, you have to pay now based on that wastage, that corruption, and that inefficiency. What can go so, Jamaica? How can you feel comfortable?
There are currently...
Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. You know why? You know why? You know why? You must vote them out. Not because of JLP. God don't like us.
Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet Radio Station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica. Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet Radio Station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica.
Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. You know why? You know why?
If we're able to take your calls now. The numbers are 876-212-9824. Madam Producer, that caller that we promised it would call back, you could probably just reach out to that person. Or let's see, we have callers coming in. Let's see if we get them. All right, the numbers are 876-212-9824 and 876-462-0919. Those are the numbers to call. So we are 7 days to go for the general election, and indeed it promises to be an interesting election 2025. How will it go? seems as if the PNP the PNP have been finding many things. They found a song, that Blood and Fire song, that really basically awakened their base in a big way. And certainly now they come with the 3.5 that seems to be a biggie. And guess what? Last night, they basically was quite clear as to how it will be funded. You know, this morning, one of my friend who is a supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party, he called me this morning. He said something a little bit, I said, I think it was unkind, because he said about my friend Favor, say he believed that he would like her to lose her seat so Andrew can consider her as no minister. But I said to him, but you know, Andrew not going to be able to consider anybody at all as minister based on what is happening, because even him in his constituency seems to be under a bit of pressure from Paul Buchanan. So let's see how that will go. Hello, welcome caller. Caller? Nothing. Not hearing the call at all. Not. Yes, I'm hearing you now. Yes, go ahead.
Good morning.
Hi, morning. How you doing, sir?
Giving thanks, man, you know.
Yeah.
Healing and better must come. Yesterday, that finished with credit. It's finished. It's fully loaded now.
Yeah, man, no problem. Go ahead.
Too much misspend, you know.
Go ahead and speak.
All right. I'm sure you know, Cara, make me touch it poor. More touch it poor.
You're here? You're in the island now? You're in Jamaica?
No, I'm back in Florida.
Oh, so you're coming down to vote?
Conrad, me tell me I have a big case. The government, when me write to them, is a truck. Grave versus and not the Jamaican as the defendant, and Jamaica government judges won't go read U.S. government inefficiency. That to me are the biggest good. They call the land and the city we have in Jamaica. They say God work. The bigger project is justice and freedom.
So hold on there. Let me get you straight. What you're saying, you have a case in the States, and you want
in the U.S. going on with the Jamaican versus the USA city of Newark.
Oh, so
not the Jamaican, not the typical Jamaican, not the defendant.
So what you wanted the Jamaican government to do something for you as it relates to that case?
To go read the Jamaican side, both sides of the thing, the process, when the time people submitted court orders and public health license and statutes involved with yourself. You understand? Big city politics.
Yes, I'm listening.
Judiciary. Inefficiencies, malpractices.
So who you reach out to in Jamaica that you assess?
All right, Mr. Chuck, I'll several man road them send that our university law school for people to research. I'll observer, me left whole copy of what written. Me left it all Power 106 when there was on Bradley Avenue. Me left it at RJR.
That sounds
Jamaica.
That sounds like a big.
And all both in America, probably just like Miss Bundy them again.
Maybe you should.
100% maybe correct and 100% certain and 100 USA.
Send whatever you have to me. Send it to Conrad OBrian, 50 at yahoo.com.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, send whatever you have to me there. Let me have a look at it.
Mr. 55-page brief.
No problem.
And
Just send it.
Pages appendices submitted from 2006. And 9 copy to New Jersey Supreme Court, which are denied certification, which was my favor too, and copies of court case that they retaliate that lead to NJ40A 992 compensation laws for things, everything on the job will progress, never in crime ever. Public health, highest level, independent of politics.
Oh, all right. As I said before, send the things to me so I can look through it, so I can speak a little bit more intelligently on that.
Government, me send it out to RJ Marks.
Yes, because that's what I was about to ask you if you had engaged.
Something to the ambassador. They're supposed to relate to Jamaica Parliament.
That's what I was about to ask you. If you got, hold on, man. You have to listen, Mr. Gray. I'm saying you have to listen. You have to listen. I am saying to you, that's what I was about to ask you. If you had basically reached out to the Jamaican ambassador to the US.
Yes.
You said you have. You say you did.
Under freedom. Remember Conrad. With justice and the biggest issue ever does us them Jim Brown deed of them. Scammers. If Jamaica wrong by law, then they're jail, you know. And Jamaica government not even manage to trial them. They extradite them in a second because they don't want a repetition of those.
All right. I'm sure you have something else that you want to talk about.
Court orders must be obeyed.
Yes.
Due processes and most without due process you can't have justice.
All right, Mr. Gray. Thanks.
Make it touch the poor, because I not even like to talk about myself. Because I deal with things myself about that.
Quickly.
But let me talk about the poor and Dan and listen. Remember last year, Conrad, 2024, Dan and listen, adding 2023, PNP leading by 5% consistently, like he has 2025, 2024 coming down after the local government election, PNP leading by 78, even 9 is last year, September, right? And after election announced, just like last year, he come with a poor but balanced thing. This time he have PNP ahead by approximately 1 point, right? But when you check out the facts started to Conrad, when PNP won 321,000 votes to JLP 290,000 votes, PNP was ahead by 26,000 votes, which is 40. If you check the EOJ website, it's 47.2% of the voters voted JLP. And remember, JLP was government, campaigning that, okay, better vote too because we are government, victimization, sarcasm, threats, which is really part of politics. And PNP won 52.8% of the popular vote, right?
Yes, because whenever a party is in government, and you're going into the local government, they tend to use that to say, listen, we're already in government, so vote for us. So they would have a distinct advantage there. I understand that point you're making,
Yeah, man, and it is true. I remember 1986, and the same thing I got this year. I'm not telling Conrad, so that's 6% win by PNP, And that's no plus, no minus.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? That is straight stat facts. I'm a creature of maths and scientific research methods. You understand? And PNP be working consistently. Things that on the street, even while JLP was having their internal problem fighting for constituency and other scandals. And so PNP won again November 22nd, 2024 in the 2 by-elections for local government that they had contested when JLP said they were going to win them and spend enormous resources, right? And they lost. And they lost Clarendon, even though they still have the mayor, which I disagree with because I think PNP should have fight it because the major law to me is the first I ever see a loser, whether by division count or by popular vote, which is the law as exists, and run for KSAC, which is the president. Have the loser, have the mayor, so I give a wrong perception. You get what I'm saying? And it show out all anti-oldness thing about parishes, about how much parishes in win out of the equation. It show it into the ground, it's buried it. You get what I'm saying? Conrad?
Yeah, man. Yes, Mr. Gray.
Yeah, man, well, you're there. You understand? It's straight out because now PNP have that. The PNP win 9 parishes by popular vote in the Conrad. And if you check in parishes in Jamaica and equate in mathematical, you can have Kingston and St. Andrew together in the court. Each is an individual parish. You understand?
Yeah.
So if you check in parishes, PNP win our Sanctimus local, the popular vote, even though they lost narrowly 5-4 in the seat, in the division count. And in any election, the divisions are the seats. In general elections, constituencies or the seat. Is whoever wins the contested unit.
I have to leave you there with that, Mr. Gray.
Listen, man, just give me a minute, because I have maths and science.
Yeah.
We should come rejoicing bringing in the seas, sowing seeds of love, sowing seeds of love, sowing seeds of faith, sowing seeds of righteousness. We shall come rejoicing. Bringing in the
all right, Mr. Gray.
love.
Thanks a lot for today. Always have something to say. Thanks a lot, sir. Good. All right, that's Mr. Gray there. He's calling out of Florida. Madam Producer, there's a clip from the debate last night. I sent it to you there. I just wanted to cue up that clip for me and play it. It's I sent it there on the News Talk phone. So there's a clip there. So I want to hear this clip. Just tell me when you're ready for me there, Madam Producer. We play this clip, and because certainly the discussion last night was indeed very, very interesting what took out there. And of course, the PNP continue to hit hard. They are not easing up. They continue to go for the jugular as it relates to the corruption. All right. So there was a lot of situation there. All right. The lines are open. We can take your calls. 876-212-9824. 876-462-0919. Those are the numbers to call. You ready for that with that clip, Madam Producer? All right. Let's go. Let's listen to this clip coming out of the debate last night.
Are under investigation for illicit enrichment. I, Julian J. Robinson, can categorically state I am not under investigation. Can the three of you say that?
So there you have it. Julian basically threw down the gauntlet last night and said that he can categorically state that he is not under investigation for illicit enrichment, and he challenged those from the Labour Party side that were governing Labour Party side that were on the platform last night to say they weren't. And of course, none of them pick up that challenge, because what happened, it is clear that the 11 person, you know, and of course the Prime Minister is also included. We know that the Prime Minister is on the investigation. We don't know who the other 11 are. But hello, caller.
Caller, yes, man, I'm me.
Oh, where you say, Marsha?
Me there. It come like you know where I was going to start, because that's the clip I want to start with this morning. Now, you realize the JLP concedes too many things. The man to
Showerman, call the other numbers, please. Go ahead.
I, Julian James J. Robinson, can state categorically that I am not under investigation. Can the JLP do so? I have to me say none of them couldn't say me no under an investigation. No, tell me. None of them, and for the whole debate, they couldn't answer that simple question.
It was similarly to when the point was raised. I think it was also Julian, either Julian or Peter, asked a question and put it out there about the Cornwall Regional Hospital. I think it was Julian. Christopher Tufton steered wide of it. He could not respond. He was floored.
What? No, man. The man went to them bad. And if you believe, say, Keisha Anderson said nothing. Keisha Anderson asked one question, because the JLP continue to tell you about the more job and poverty down and all of that something there. And Keisha asked the question, is your life better off?
That was the knockout punch. And of course, you know the time, you know the amount of time that Dr. Stokes spends on it. Because what happened, you know, hear what happened. Dr. Stokes, and you can pick up, Dr. Stokes is a man who is grounded. So he knows what is happening, and what he's getting from the masses, what he's hearing from the people is that their lives are not better off. And that is one of the things that is going to hit this government and the JLP very, very hard at the poll. because they're trying to tell people their reality, but the live reality is different. Take for example, Marshy. Even outside of the food matter, but take for example, even the scenario with the road, and they're trying to tell us how much road they fix. Where?
Hey, let me tell you something. I am a man who drive around many parts of Jamaica. Jamaica is one of the worst. You see the part of road them where they patch.
Yes, that's ask the caller to hold.
I think you may describe it as patchy bun.
Patch bomb. Patch bomb.
And me hear another man say it's a junk on the road because it's pitchy patchy. You know? And the roads are awful to drive, man.
Yes.
My God, no man. You think, see one way you're talking about job. The job where people have this minimum wage job. You think you can pay them for 130,000 house them?
Mm-hmm.
You can't pay them for one of them. You can't.
30 million.
Your salary, you not qualify. It's slave wages, you know. It's slavery business. So you talk about job down and job this and the most job. I wonder if a vaccine them I talk about. Because man, job you in a vaccine, you know, man, trust me. Some must say that kind of job that them I talk about. And I come to one like that you are better. You know better. You come and work. Nurse if you have borrow fear, figure work. Nurse. Nurse, teacher, if you have borrow money, figure work. Because when they get the money at the end of the month, it can't go, you know, it coming like I run a 4x1 relay. Right? As quick as you get that salary, so it pass on to the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper pass on, and it going around. So none of it now stay with you. So you coming to talk about most job and unemployment and all. It's like in slavery. But me go back to it and say slavery. And if you would never hear it before, me I go say it again. There is a part of slavery that is better than what taking place under this government.
All right, Marshall. Let me take the other one before we go to the break. The person, the caller gone? All right, Marsh, continue. The other way lose those callers.
As I said, there is a part of slavery, and I don't want people to misunderstand. But in slavery, the background master would have find your food, you find place to live, and you find clothes gear. So you know have all of them things that you worry about. In this freedom now, you have to find fear for your work, you have to find your food, you have to pay your rent, you have to find something to support your children, and the salary where you get can't go. In a slavery, you never have them problem there. You just go work and come home, and if you don't work, you get your what's it not bust.
All right, sir.
Right, but now we're free, but we in a problem. That I don't want nobody mistake. No, me I say, you know, slavery is wrong. Slavery no.
No, we understand what you're trying. What you're trying to make.
But in slavery, the part of slavery that we not nothing to think about. You just got work, and that is it. That is it.
All right, Marsha.
Just before I go, my greatest moment in the debate last night is at the end of the debate when a certain gentleman by the name of Clifton Hughes say that the PNP has won. And this morning on his
This is Make We Talk Breaking News. An item of news just coming in right here in the United States. Police are now responding to a shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Governor Tim Walz says. And what we're hearing right now is that, one moment for me, please. What we're hearing is that 2 are dead, up to 20 victims in shooting at Catholic school in Minneapolis, Minnesota. As soon as we get more news, we will pass it on to you. But the news coming into the Mequitalk News Center that police are now responding to a shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis, Minnesota, according to the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. We're working our sources here to get more news to you. That this is the item of news just into the news center right here on the Mequitalk program. 2 dead, up to 20 victims in shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That is the news we have coming into us. As soon as we get more news, we will pass it on to you. This is Mequitalk Breaking News. Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Mequitalk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet Radio Station and Mequitalk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica.
A common misconception is that on election day, you vote for the Prime Minister. However, that is not the case. You vote for your Member of Parliament. Welcome to Notify. Let's break down what really happens at the polling stations. First things first, you must be 18 or older, a Jamaican citizen or Commonwealth resident, and you must be registered with the Electoral Office of Jamaica. On election day, go to your polling station between the times announced. Present your voter's ID, and this will be checked against the voters list. Once verified by the presiding officer, you'll be able to cast your vote. Some polling stations might be using EVIS, the Electronic Voter Identification System, where you will be asked to place a specific finger on a fingerprint scanner to verify your identity. Inside the polling station, you will be provided with a pencil, which you will use to mark an X beside the candidate of your choice. This person will represent your constituency and become your Member of Parliament. After that, you'll dip your right index finger in ink to show that you've cast your vote. Ensure that you watch as the presiding officer places your unopened ballot into the ballot box. Remember, you're voting for your Member of Parliament and not directly for the party leader, unless they are your Member of Parliament. The party leader that wins the most seats across all 63 constituencies becomes the Prime Minister. Once you've made your vote, it's time for the Electoral Office of Jamaica to count the ballots. Stay tuned to find out what happens after the ballots are in. My name is Krista Fuller, and this has been Notify.
This is Mequitalk Breaking News. As we were saying to you earlier on, 2 people are now dead in a mass shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's Minneapolis, Minnesota. 2 people are now dead. 20 victims in a mass shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We're also working some item of news coming into us out of Jamaica. As soon as we get that to you, confirm that, we will bring it to you. This is Mequitalk Breaking News. This is Mequitalk Breaking News. Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Mequitalk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet Radio Station and Mequitalk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica. This is Mekwi Talk Breaking News. Item of news coming into us. The Jamaica Constable Force are now leading a search for 2 young children who were reported missing in Monique, St. Anne's on Tuesday night. That's the Jamaica Constable Force are now leading a search for 2 young children who were reportedly missing in Monique, St. Anne's on Tuesday night. That's the news coming into us that the JCF are now leading a search for 2 missing children in Monique, St. Anne's on Tuesday night. They're now leading a search this morning here for 2 children who went missing. And out of the United States, a mass shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis, Minnesota. 2 are confirmed dead and 20 victims are nursing gunshot wounds. As soon as we get more news, we'll pass it until we go right back over to Conrad OBrian on News Talk 93 FM.
With some of our children. So as soon as we're able to verify that and to give you more, and we'll tell you. So keep tuned. Stay tuned. Hello. Go ahead, Marie.
Oh my God, boy! Again, it's Conrad. I know we have our share with gun violence and stuff, but the U.S. man, when them do it, it is so devastating. In schools and all of that, it's all go after the children. I just hope it's not too many casualties, and with our scenario here, whatever they're tracking, I hope it's not devastating either.
Indeed, we are getting confirmation that 2 is dead in the United States out of that shooting scenario there at a school, and as I said, about 20 others are impacted. But we hope for the best.
Even if you don't have the casualty, if you don't have the deaths, Conrad, it's going to be traumatizing, for them people for the rest of their life. You understand me? Because imagine you being trapped on gunfire, and even soldiers end up with PTSD or whatever the thing is, much as children. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Conrad. I would have listened to Mr. Graham more. But I hope you can get over him legal rules. But I'm sorry, him never come with our. No, Mr. Graham.
Oh yeah, Mr. Gray. Yes.
Yeah. I would have loved to hear more of his statistical analysis on the election. So I pity him never did come with that first. But I hope him get over him legal problems still, with the issues that he's having and stuff. Because, I like the point where he was going, but then, time. Conrad, the thing about it is that I want to ask you something, because you're a man out there and you sit behind the microphone and stuff. Is it true? Because when I listened to some analysis last night, right? We don't want to call nobody name, right? Is it true that people don't care about corruption, Conrad? I know that was on the radar one time, but does it still ring true that people don't care about corruption anymore?
No, I think a lot of people are paying attention right now to corruption, and we have seen where several polls have been done within recent time that have corruption. I think some of them shows corruption at number 2 in the pecking order, and it stands to reason why the corruption argument is front and center at this time, because as I always like to point out to us here, that it's the very first time that we have seen the Prime Minister, the head of the political executive, basically deliberately fingered in things like illicit enrichment and on the investigation. So one can understand that it would have taken on additional legs, and certainly we're hearing about $3 trillion being unaccountable for. We hear about $25 billion spent on Cornwall Regional. So all in all, the corruption are all pervasive and impactful. So I believe to say that the Jamaican people are not interested about corruption and so on, it is indeed first not true. And also, I believe it would be a serious indictment on us, because what would say is that, listen, just go thief. I want a business with that, because that's corruption.
Yeah. Because I sat there and I listened, and somebody gonna say, it doesn't move the needle, and I know that's not true. And something, Conrad, it is so disheartening when you hear it coming from a certain.
It's an argument to cover a particular group of people, Marie, and so on. It's an argument to cover a particular group of people.
Yes, Sir Conrad. These are the people who sit on high and look down low, down in communities like mine.
Wow.
Down here.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me, Conrad?
Mm-hmm.
And you sit on a bench where where people will look up, because people in a community like mine, strive and say, why? When I got it, we can move out of and go live on the hill, So what does it say when you live up there, Conrad, and you are saying, corruption is neither here nor there? All right, moving right along. Conrad, corporate welfare. Why is it to see, Conrad, it's almost in the same vein as corruption. Why is it to see, Conrad, with corporate welfare? They don't have a problem with corporate welfare, but they have a problem with a 3.5. Why is it?
Well, you see, unfortunately, it's the kind of situation that normally impact us whenever things seems to be happening for the masses, people who have done the heavy lifting in the main. We always seem to have problem with those things, but and granted, and let me say this first off the bat. Whatever we're doing, of course, I understand that we must identify it because fiscal responsibility is important. But I'm saying that, for example, last night, and it was as clear as day, Julian Robinson and the PNP team, they identify clearly how they will be paying for this. And they talk about strict timeline, because some of the commentators wanted to make an argument that, listen, this is not going to come into fusion X time and so on. Julian basically said, listen, it will come in place April 2026. And the reason why he said April 2026, because that's when the PNP, if formed government, will have the first opportunity to roll out their budget. Their first budget.
Because what a lot of people don't know, Conrad, the budget for 24, 20, 25, 26, if I'm going in, they still would have to adhere to what is already.
Yeah, man. It's just the discretionary. It just those discretionary. They will have some amount of leverage over, but in the main, a number of things that are already in place with the budget. So the PNP would be crafting its first budget for 25, 20, what will it be? 20, 26, 27?
Yes, and I'm happy too, because a lot of people, me not understand everything, but you me love listen. I understand my convent and learn. When I heard that, I remember Mark saying that certain strictures are there in place that, within like the law governance or something where certain things have to be followed when it comes on to fiscal responsibility.
Absolutely. And sorry, Marie. Yeah, Marie, you're absolutely correct. And those are some of the things that were crafted and put in place in 2011, 2012, going into 2016, when we basically changed the trajectory to have the downward go on a downward trajectory with the debt, because suffice it to say that the talk about the downward trajectory of the debt, whichever party had formed the government, we would be on the same trajectory, because those were some of the things that had to be put in place, including EPOC and the monitoring committees that put in place. You understand? To have basically achieve this fiscal responsibility. So, it's
So, when people talk about them are going and them are going to do this and them are going to do that, people, you need to listen. I'm going to say, we'll make up our own news as we go along, but, therein lies, truth always rise to the top. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. No PNP government are going to go in and we're going to wreck this and we're going to wreck that and we're going to wreck that. And like I said, Conrad, when a little man, like you said, that does the heavy lifting, or security guards, or rank and file officers, or nurses, or teachers, when a time for them get back a little something, a problem. But then when you hear about massive overruns and this, that, and the third, Conrad, and man, I get almost $1 billion contract. Coming like that, them protect Conrad, and them say it'll come to an end. And them so sorry, and them vex, because the little man now, I'll get carry one little extra money, where school I got open, buy 2 books. On Sunday, him can buy chicken. Christmas I come, him can buy 1 ham. Like that, them vex for Conrad.
Well, let me tell you something. It is certainly very, very happy moments for persons who work overtime, hearing that, listen, those overtime will not be taxed, because certainly some people are telling you that, listen, they're reluctant in even doing any overtime, because when they do the overtime, the taxes take all of it. But we have to run.
I'm not here alone, you know, Conrad. Let me close it. And it's not here alone, you know, because even my dad, so when them work at foreign, them never like the overtime, because a lot of it goes into tax a lot of time.
But remember also, you know, that was one of the linchpin from both political parties in the state. The taxes, removing tax off gratuity, overtime, and all of those sort of things. So these are what progressive agendas to allow people to have a little bit more money in their pocket. It's really not encouraging for you to work overtime, and you know some.
3 is loading, and Julian walked out in the dance last night, and the video like they just.
Where you say mash up the dance?
Yeah, man, not that bunching and the lady never do anything, you know. What Julian shell it down last night, dance sell off. As what them say, you killed to find a buckle with a cart last night for Julian.
Yes. All right, Arlen. Thanks a lot for today. All right. Okay, we continue to take the calls. The numbers are 876-212-9824, 876-462-0919. Welcome, caller.
Yes, sir, morning.
Hi, Milton. How are you doing?
Not too bad. First, the anti-corruption bodies.
Yes, sir.
I've been told that I have not seen the Labour Party manifesto, but I've been told that the Labour Party in its manifesto said that it intends to strengthen our anti-corruption bodies. Is that true?
Well, that's what was said on the stage last night. I must confess, I have not gone through the manifesto as I want to. I'm planning to do so between now and the weekend, so I'll be able to, you know, to highlight more. But I don't know. It would be interesting for us to see the area that was said direct. But one of the things, it sort of fall on its head, because here is it. The anti-corruption body is now being taken to court by the leader of the Labour Party and the Prime Minister of Jamaica to struck down certain aspect of it. So how are you strengthening an organization when you have the body in court to struck down one of the main artery of the said body? I don't understand.
Oh, you have been reading what I wrote, you know. You say, Mr. O'Brien.
Yes, sir.
What on paper is what on paper now, but the reality of the situation, as you mentioned earlier on. First thing first, Marlon told me personally on this radio station that the Integrity Commission left must to be desired, or leave must to be desired.
Yes,
He's the chief spokesperson for the government, you know, because Dean Jackson Miller told us that.
Well, I don't know that he's the chief, but certainly he's one of their spokespersons.
Technically, if according to Dean Jackson Miller, several times she wanted to speak to ministers of government, and she was told that the ministers they are not available, but Mr. Morgan is available. So, but you know, read into that, sir. Should the Labour Party form the next administration?
Then send him out into the firing line.
The Integrity Commission in Canada. Willing said there that the stream muddy, it's highly likely that the bottom and the center are gonna be muddied.
Well, sir, the truth is that I hear Mark Golding, and he's saying that he's draw a line in the sand, that wherever corruption is, he will be weeding it out, and whoever is found derelict in their duty, then they must pay the full penalty. We also heard from Damian Crawford and the political platform. One by one, they're going to jail. One by one, they're going to jail. So while I'm not rejoicing and hoping for people to go to jail, but if we have laws in this country that basically govern the masses, that whenever the massive basically run afoul, if those who are in leadership, that is in governance and so on, from whichever side of the aisle, you know, they are from, then certainly they must be allowed to pay the price as well, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Soto, sir, Mr. Sen, and I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunately, senior Labour Party ministers, there seems to be synonymous with conviction, you know. It's true, is there to back up my claim.
Well, you're correct. You're absolutely correct. We have seen where the record shows, and we are not making up this, we have shown that at least 4 government minister, JLP government minister, would have gone to prison before. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. So people, they are aware. There's no way you can have it in your manifesto on paper. You're gonna straighten this and straighten that. At the same time, you said the same integrity commission. Left must be desired until the Prime Minister in far-cast reality. Say me I take your court and 3 ground that where my constitutional right has been breached. Nothing about so here, sir.
Mm-hmm. But Milton, what do you make of the point that that Julian made last night? Well, when he said, listen, Julian J. Robinson can declare that he is not under investigation, and he chided the other side to basically, he dared them rather to say that they weren't under investigation and they couldn't reply.
I heard him, so some nice points in the debate, you know.
Mm-hmm.
After you say the good lady was just a stopgap finance minister, you say I must use the word.
Well, I don't know.
If you're gonna start an administration, would you have a slate of cabinet?
I'm not going to answer. I don't not going to answer you, Milton. I'm not going to answer that about anti-favor. I'm not going to answer. But suffice it to say, a JLP, very, very active JLP member. He's listening now, he's my friend. And he called me this morning and he said to me that, listen, he has to speak the truth. The PNP won big last night, and he credit Julian in a big way. Credit all of them, but he said Julian was the star. And he said that Favor was a disaster because she was in an economic debate and she couldn't speak on it. And he said that he hoped that she lose her seat, so the Prime Minister would not, Andrew, if becoming Prime Minister, would not have her to consider as a finance minister. That's what he said. But hold on, he went on further to say that the JLP would be winning 48 seats. So I had to laugh. But
but Julian Robinson, we found that I've been told that Peter Bounty knew Mark Golden from they were children or something like that.
Yes, certainly they were their childhood friends. Peter is a little older than Mark, but they were friends from very early.
Peter went on well, but Dr. Tufton, with greater respect, his call was Saturday, not last night, but we understand why.
Yes.
Because when I time he ran look whisper on the radio, and somebody say you, until time Mrs. Favor William starts to. But she was the senior somebody in terms of economy and the debate.
Sir,
she was the senior person.
Sir, the debate is supposed to be extensively between Julian Robinson and Favor Williams. And that is why I question the debate commission in basically have this as a group debate or a team debate. And it is absolutely clear that whether they were nudged from behind the scene or whatever, but it is absolutely clear, not just to me, but to everybody, that it was done to provide some coverage for Minister Williams. Certainly it didn't work, but that was the intent, in my view.
Yes, and you come a lady there, she not sound bad still. What's in here, Stewart or Thompson?
Which of them? On which side?
On the PNP side.
No, her name is Anderson. She's the treasurer.
She never gone on, but really, Julian surprised a lot of people,
Yeah, he was a little bit more robust than his usual self that some people grown accustomed to,
Yeah, man. He went on well, man. But Mrs. Favor William.
But I saw that with Julian on the political platform as well, Julian has really grown immensely. Have to leave you there, Milton.
All right, but we can't talk about the champ. You are on tomorrow, right?
Yeah, man, I'll be on tomorrow.
Okay, big up yourself.
All right. Bless you. All right, let's continue the calls. Hello, welcome, caller. Caller? Welcome, caller.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I am not bad. I am a happy lady this morning. Very happy.
Yes, Miss P, talk to us. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah. I want to use this media to tell the PNP to look out with the security guard. I can't talk about my field. You see, when the overtime comes,
yes,
the security officer, what the companies them do, and limit the guards there, so they don't get no overtime. So my request from Marky G and the whole crew, when you come in and get the time, we want a security company by the government. It's like we approach security, increase them or something. Get rid of this private security company. Eliminate them.
That's not going to happen. But that can't happen really. But I hear what you're saying. It can't happen.
Yeah.
You're a security guard?
Yeah.
It won't happen. But you see, there will be overtime. But to eliminate private security guard company, it won't happen, because what happened is a part of the landscape. It's business, and the PNP will not.
Private security guard now. Get some government operated security guards. So you have just like we have the court security. So when people are working in security now, they are working with the government.
All right, well.
So they abuse the court.
All right, yeah, you make your point. A part of my duty is to listen, and you're throwing out your idea there, so
yes,
I won't.
I tell you what I feel.
All right.
Like somebody tell me about 20 years there and about 30 years in and me can't go get a house.
Well, you will be able to know. Let's hope that your colleague will do the right thing, and so on, so you can basically benefit from the policy that is being put in place now.
Right. I hope so. And the next thing, the debate last night, why may I tell you, not a liquor left in our dance. No liquor left in our dance. Everything's sell off.
Wow.
I can show you.
What about the curry goat and manish water?
Everything's sell off.
Okay.
No left. Because I'm sure you see, Mr. O'Brien, Conrad, these people on the green side, it's like them when they ask the question, like people know, like Jamaican people now look and live the facts, and them are trying to go around it. Even with the hospital thing. Mr. Tough Time, he dry body, you know? He just dry. He must say the health system is the best from which you went. The health system is the worst. Even when Dr. does at the time talk about the bag to make apron and he cut half a soap. You cut half a soap, but you don't have none to cut.
Yeah, Miss P.
You don't have no garbage bag to get.
Miss P.
Looking at
Miss P.
Yeah.
I'm up on the 10 o'clock break. I'm about the 11 o'clock break. The news is coming up. It's a little long break. If anything, you can call me back. All right? Take care. Right. Good. Thanks for the call. Let's go to the 11 o'clock break. Suka.
The preceding hour was brought to you by Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Wellington Dental, providing dental care at its best.
Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet Radio Station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica.
Well, the first thing I'm going to say, we are going to treat public sector workers with respect and dignity. I won't talk to the JTA president like the Minister of Education and say him performing at his conference. That is disrespect. Disrespect is when you need to get a meeting, you have to get restive and threaten strike action. The fiscal policy paper has, in its first year, 9%. In the second year, 6%. In the third year, 6%. They have offered 0. That is not an offer. We will do better. But by lifting the income tax threshold to 3.5 million, we are easing the pressure. We easing the pressure on our nurses. We easing the pressure on our policemen. We easing the pressure so that more money will be in their pockets. They have a history of dealing with civil servants with disrespect. You right now have 2 sets of civil servants in the same office doing the same thing and earning different salaries. A whole set of anomalies that arose from the public sector compensation review. They haven't addressed it. There's supposed to be a meeting tomorrow with the JCTU and you cancel it. They are the ones who treat them with disrespect. We have a history of working with our public sector in the interest of this country, and we will continue to do so. So when we come into office, it will be better than 0% because there is money in the budget to provide better for public servants. Jamaica. The current macroeconomic figures look good, but what is your lived reality? What do you go through every single day? The reality you face is that you are living hand to mouth. You are working, but you can only afford to go to work and come back based on the wages that you earn. You are working poor. 55% of Jamaicans are considered food insecure, which means they cannot afford to eat a proper meal per day. If they go to the hospitals that Chris supposed to build, them can't find toilet paper or a bed. Jamaica, you deserve better. Time come for a better life. The next People's National Party administration will lift the tax threshold to 3.5 million so we can put more money in the pockets of working Jamaicans. We are going to eliminate the tax on overtime so that, again, people can get a break. The same people who are working hard to build our economy. We are going to run a more efficient economy so that this thing called the Office of Plenty Ministries, that is a bottleneck where nothing can go through and it takes you a year to do something. We are going to eliminate those efficiencies so that we can grow the economy beyond 1%. We are going to ensure that anybody who is the first in their family gets a scholarship, and that means for persons who are currently at university, we are going to ensure that those who are buying a house get the $500,000 deposit. And I want to assure persons who earn over 3.5 million that this tax benefit is for you too. So what are we going to do? We're going to build a Jamaica in which all Jamaicans can feel a part of. So come September 3rd, when you go to the polling station, I want you to think carefully. I want you to use your head and put the X beside the head.
Time. Considered view that the 3.5 million threshold increase that was recently announced is nothing but a Sam-Fi political scam. In the beginning it was 2.1, then it became 3, then it disappeared, and then it appeared 1 week before an election. You have to tell the people of Jamaica, I ask you to tell the people of Jamaica, is this just an election scam, or is it that you are going to be cutting much needed services such as NHF, where we spend $19 billion for drugs in hospitals, or university spending, which is $17 billion. Tell us how you plan to really cut discretionary areas, as you have called them.
I answered the question already, but I'm going to answer it again for the Jamaican people. I have said we are going to raise the threshold to $3.5 million. How are we going to do that? We're going to do that because your budget says that $140 billion of additional government revenues will be earned over 3 years. But that is at your 1% growth, which you have no ambition on. We're going to grow the economy by more than that so that we can pay for these things. There's also a benefit when you put more money in the hands of people because they're going to spend it, which will allow the government to collect more on GCT and other indirect taxes. We are the party committed to ensuring that all Jamaicans thrive and not just a few. Our plan is better better, it is more equitable. Their plan will benefit the richer people more. Ours will benefit the working people, our nurses, our policemen, the security guards, the civil servants, to put more money to ease the pressure of the cost of living that they have to face. That is our commitment as a party of social justice and equality. So when you talk about Samfire, what Samfire you're talking about? Madness you're talking about? We will deliver on behalf of the Jamaican people. We have a history of protecting our most vulnerable and ensuring that they have more money to spend so that they can protect their families and those around them.
Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet Radio Station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica.
Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. You know why? You know why? You know why? You must vote them out. Not because of JLP. God don't like us.
Yes, Jamaica. The date has been set. The date has been called. Let's get together to pray for the Lord to have His way. Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with Thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Calling all Jamaicans to the all red, all night prayer meeting, August 29, before the election. It's 2025, August 29, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Calling all prayer warriors, all intercessors, all church members. Let's pray that God will reverse the order back to the sender. The Portmore Mega Center, 18 West Tradeway, Portmore Town Center. Come one, come all. Come, let's pray to the living God. Jamaica, Jamaica is not what man says, is what God says. Come, let's pray. Let's pray. Jamaica, we must reverse the order. It's the
Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet Radio Station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica. Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025.
Right here, as we come to you live from the studios of News Talk here at UWI Mono. And indeed, it is a Wednesday. It's the 27th of August 2027. We're also streaming live on the Make We Talk YouTube channel, and we're also up on the Conrad OBrian FB page. So join us there. Caller, just hold a second for me. Let me just bring up this story here. So coming out of the US, as I said before, this is where are we? Coming out of the US, all right, let me give you the other one first. Coming out of Jamaica here, developing story, search underway for 2 missing toddlers in Monique, St. Anne. And the story goes on to say that the police are now leading the search for 2 young children who were reported missing in Monique, St. Anne, and Tuesday night. A high-ranking official has revealed, we are currently combing the area searching for them. The official said the names of the 2 children, a boy and a girl, ages 1 and 3 respectively, have not been released. And of course, we share the story with you earlier about that shooting at the school there. And of course, Tim Walz, the governor there, he basically talked about it and expressed his deepest condolences and sympathy for what's taking place in his school district there in the US of A. Hello, caller.
Yes, good morning. How are you doing?
I am well, thank you, sir.
Yes, I want to
yes, Bongo.
Some of the misleading information you gave this morning pertaining to the economy. Now in 2007, Goose go when the in 2007 when the JLP took over. Do you remember in September what happened? Jamaica was devastated by Hurricane Dean. That impacted the economy, and therefore the JLP had to do virtually work a miracle, because what has happened is economy.
Nothing, absolutely nothing like that, sir. Hold on. Don't come here with the nonsense, sir. Hold on, please. You're going to listen this morning, please. No, you're not coming here to spread falsehood. When the PNP, hold on, sir. Hold on. If you're not going to allow me, I'm going to cut you off.
Well, you're not allowing me to
because you start off on a false premise. The last time the Jamaican economy, hold on, sir. The last time the Jamaican economy, we talk facts here, you know, we don't run mouth and talk nonsense. Madam Producer, could you take off this person off the line for me, please? If you're going to be rude, you're not going to stay here. If you're willing to have a discussion, we can have a discussion. You start off on a wrong footing. When the PNP leave office, that was the last time under Portia Simpson Miller that the economy grew by 3.5%, right, in 2007. Whatever the situation is, when the PNP took office back in 2012 there, the fact is that the economy declined by 5%. There weren't any IMF program in place, and the Portia Simpson Miller have to leave Jamaica, went and have a discourse with Maxine Walters. They engaged Christine Lagarde and they signed off on a new IMF program. That's the scenario there, sir. So if you're going to have the discussion, you can say what you want to say, but do not start out on telling lies. That's what happened. The lines are open. 876-212-9824, 876-462-0919. Those are the numbers to call the program if you wish to talk to us this morning. As we say hi and good morning to Raymond Taylor, who is saying good morning, OB. Also, Sharon is here as well. And Mr. Gray. To all of you who are chiming in, Joseph is also there, Norma, all of you who are weighing in, Kirk Douglas, who are weighing in as well, and also Bobby. All right, welcome, caller.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning to Jamaica.
You know, Bongo, I'm sorry, not Bongo, Mr. Sorry. I'm sorry. I want to entertain Bongo, right? Yesterday we had a nice discourse, but he really come to hug the program, not allowing me, not showing me any respect and so on. It's not going to happen with neither him or anybody else. Go ahead, sir.
I never yet hear the People's National Party government complain about Ivan. You ever hear them blaming Ivan for the economic growth?
I don't recall.
Right, but this JLP government, them blame this, them blame that, them blame this, them blame that. You know this brother here, Sir Conrad, when named Robert Finzi Smith?
I know him very well. He appeared on this program many times. I interview him. Bobby is my friend.
Yeah, could you get him back on the program before the week is end? He had some good information there, you know.
Yeah, but what in particular you would want us to talk to Bobby about? Okay, Bobby is a friend of the program, so we could talk to him. But what exactly you're talking about? Any specific issue? I know he speaks on security, but any particular issue that you want to be engaging on?
Yeah, him got some information about Paul Buchanan.
Okay.
Yeah, he must say Paul Buchanan doing good on the ground, and him draw scenario say if the husband leave the house at 1 o'clock in the night, it leave room for another man to come in. So if the PM out on the street, them dead hours a night, I don't know what he's looking for. Then Paul Buchanan is in control. So he must have to watch that seat there. Which way I am watching that seat.
But country, you're a listener to this program. Bobby don't have to tell you that. I say that every day. I have Paul Buchanan here that I interviewed, and Bobby, and I tell you that what is happening. I also give back some history, some background information, and that's it. It's the old seat that was represented by AJ Nichols. It used to be a fairly strong PNP seat. What happened? Remember that even Dr. Blake beat Andrew Holness when he ran, you know, and the seat was declared for Dr. Blake. After that, they run off a cluster. They rerun a cluster, I think, about 3 times. And Andrew emerged as the winner. Since then, they had the PNP field music producer, a shocking vice, Patrick Roberts. And indeed, I believe that the PNP had Patrick there for too long. There was a level of complacency that set in. He ran for 5 consecutive terms and so on. And the seat basically ran down. It's become very uncompetitive. But now we're hearing from a lot of people. I talked to a young lady there by the name of Tika. Tika is one of the organizers down there for Paul Buchanan. And they told me that a lot of things are happening down there. So it now become somewhat competitive. But we will see what will happen on the night of the election. I still believe that the Prime Minister, you know, is in a very good place to take back that seat. His Prime Minister is there and so on. But I can't discard Paul Buchanan based on what I'm hearing. So let's see how it will go.
Yeah, you're making good grounds there.
That's what I understand.
And what a brilliant team the PNP field last night.
They did well, sir.
Yeah, Julian Robinson, Peter Bunting, and the next lady there.
Well, her name is Keisha, not the next lady. Her name is Keisha Anderson.
Keisha Anderson, yeah.
Yes. And on the JLP side, they had Favor Williams, the minister. They also have the Minister of Education, Dr. Dixon, and indeed, they had the Minister of Health as well, Christopher Tufton, Dr. Christopher Tufton.
I think Tufton was out of the block many times, bowling these wide balls. You know, and Flair, the minister there, you know, from him saying born in Tidix that in Northwest St. Catherine, and that is not true. So
how you know that? No, how you know? No, hold on, man. How you know that the lady no must know which part she born, Papa?
She said she grew there and she carry water upon her head.
No, well, if you said where contest says she said she grew there and nobody can know that. But if she said she born there, she must know where she born.
She born somewhere in St. Anne.
Hold on, sir. Hold on, please. I am if Mrs. Williams, the Minister of Finance, said she was born in Ty Dixon, I am not going to question it. Right? Because we can't have our cake and eat it. Hold on. No, you can't tell me. You can say what you say, but if she must know where she born. It's the same fool argument, you know, my friend, with people. Mark was born at the University of the West Indies Hospital. And people come and question it.
Mark was born in Jamaica. The minister was born in Jamaica. But she said she carry water on her head and sell at the school gate, and that is not true.
All right, well, whatever it is.
I am a man who roam that community. I have many girls in that community. I walk in that community. I know, and I do my investigation.
Well, all right. That's of no moment though.
So
move on.
So credible and
move on. Move on.
She disappointed last night. And I want to say, the roads where them talk about, the infrastructure where them talk about, where it is, Sir Conrad?
That's a big question. Because trust me, you drive across the length and breadth of Jamaica. I am asking what happened to the Reach and the Spark. It is nowhere to be found. I want to now ask a question for the relevant body to do the investigation about the spend of these $40 billion and more. Where it's spent? Where is the money? Because trust me.
In Clarendon, to Guysville, to Macatree, to Olava, where you can't see these roads. These are bad roads, Sir Conrad.
Everywhere, sir, whether it is on the main or in community, I am asking, you know, when they talked about this program, I thought by now we'll be having some paved road, would be seeing the road not having potholes and so on. And as someone said, that even those little holes that they try to patch, they are patching a patch. And it has now become patch bump. The road is in a deplorable condition. And guess what? That is why the Labour Party, the government, they scored so low, so poorly last night, because they're trying to tell people what people are not experiencing. You can't tell people their reality.
People can't buy food, Sir Conrad.
Yes. You know, so it's what it is. But my phone buzzing in my ears here, my friend. Make a point.
Before I go, I am hearing that the taxi man and the bus man them is on the PNP side, you know. Goodbye, Sir Conrad.
All right, cool. Well, let's see if the vote will go in the box. I think this Friday the special voting taking place, Madam Producer? This Friday, and that is election day workers, the security forces, to include the police, the JDF officers, and so on. All right. The lines are open, 876-212-9824. That's 876-212-9824, 876-462-0919. Those are the numbers to call the program. So please give us a call. All right.
Hello?
I see where Dr. Chin was trying to reach out to me. Dr. Chin on air just now, so we'll get back to you. All right. I think he probably won't have something to say. We're going to get Dr. Chin on. Yes, sir. Welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Conrad.
Hi, how are you doing? How are you doing, John?
Not doing bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, last evening, listening to the debate last evening.
Yes.
Told me how prepared the PNP is to really take what is government. You know, the JLP has proposed a reduction of the income tax, bring it down to 15% gradually, and yet them couldn't tell you, they could explain it to you.
you know, they were bob and weaving. It's a case of these people just now have more to talk about. It's admissible in the pan.
The PNP certainly showed up. They showed up in the first debate with this cohesive team, workmanlike, and indeed they did the similar thing last night. They're really shaping up and looking as if looking as a government in waiting. You know
what I want to really talk about. I am pleased.
Yes,
that there's somebody who's really concerned about our middle class and working class. Because we start most of the people are really lower middle class. And these are the people who are 95. These are the people who have to build this country. And these are the people who, whenever anything go on, I feel them belt tight the most. And I'm happy that the PNP is seeing it. I want to do something for these people. Because I'm going to do something. Some of these people are going through the pangs, of hell. But they want, because sometimes I don't want to talk about it. You know, so hold it down. But these people, my brother, them 3 children who go to school, them 2 children who go to school, them have them rent to pay. I am happy that this PNP government coming in and make sure that these people benefit. Because there's something, you see, a couple of years ago, 2015, when Andrew Wallace, as opposition leader, mentioned the 1.5. Jamaica was in a rebuilding state. We weren't fully on our foot, but the foundation was laid. The PNP said, "Well, it will cost you." If they didn't cost it, but eventually cost us $32 billion.
Yes.
All right. Right now, that was 9 years
ago. The person who said that was Ralston got it right, yes?
Yes. That was 10 years ago. The PNP now, this time, the 3.5, we have a much better economy right now. The macroeconomy figures are good, but the people are not benefiting. So why the PNP is trying to, the people start to benefit? Because it doesn't mean saying you write off 40 billion for big business them. And the people who sacrifice can't get nothing.
Yeah, and there's an important point to be made, and I think somebody made that point last night. I think it was Dr. I don't remember. Somebody made no, not Dr. Stout. Clyde Williams made the point last night that when you talk about growth in our economy, irrespective of whichever other one of the party form the government, it doesn't automatically benefit the people. You have to do things deliberate to benefit the people. And he alluded to the scenario in the 1960s. Under JLP administration, I think it was when the economy was growing, it was going upward to 6% and so on. And we had dirt poverty. People were living in Wackland dog houses. And also, disease was abound in terms of chigger, roaches, everything were just out there unabated. So you have to put mechanism in place, and that is why Michael Manley was heralded in and in 1972 and the footing that better must come. And even when people talk about the decline of certain numbers within the economy, but the people were much better off in the 1970s, because that's when the social revolution took place. So you have to do things to ensure that the people benefit.
But Conrad, I want to,
hold the line, John. Let me get the break and take you back for 2 minutes on the other side. Please hold. Let's go to the final break. So come.
Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. You know why? You know why? You know why? You must vote them out? Not because of JLP. God don't like us.
Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet Radio Station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica.
Hey bro, God, you tell lie to the people. Control, man, you lie and you're evil. You take a word on a sentence the other day.
Well, the first thing I'm going to say, we are going to treat public sector workers with respect and dignity. I won't talk to the JTA president like the Minister of Education and say him performing at his conference. That is disrespect. Disrespect is when you need to get a meeting, you have to get restive and threaten strike action. The fiscal policy paper has, in its first year, 9%. In the second year, 6%. In the third year, 6%. They have offered 0. That is not an offer. We will do better. But by lifting the income tax threshold to 3.5 million, we are easing the pressure. We easing the pressure on our nurses. We easing the pressure on our policemen. We easing the pressure so that more money will be in their pockets. They have a history of dealing with civil servants with disrespect. You right now have 2 sets of civil servants in the same office doing the same thing and earning different salaries. A whole set of anomalies that arose from the public sector compensation review. They haven't addressed it. There's supposed to be a meeting tomorrow with the JCTU and you cancel it. They are the ones who treat them with disrespect. We have a history of working with our public sector in the interest of this country, and we will continue to do so. So when we come into office, it will be better than 0% because there is money in the budget to provide better for public servants. Jamaica, the current macroeconomic figures look good, but what is your lived reality? What do you go through every single day? The reality you face is that you are living hand to mouth. You are working, but you can only afford to go to work and come back based on the wages that you earn. You are working poor. 55% of Jamaicans are considered food insecure, which means they cannot afford to eat a proper meal per day. If they go to the hospitals that Chris supposed to build, them can't find toilet paper or a bed. Jamaica, you deserve better. Time come for a better life. The next People's National Party administration will lift the tax threshold to 3.5 million so we can put more money in the pockets of working Jamaicans. We are going to eliminate the tax on overtime so that, again, people can get a break. The same people who are working hard to build our economy. We're going to run a more efficient economy so that this thing called the Office of Plenty Ministries, that is a bottleneck where nothing can go through and it takes you a year to do something. We're going to eliminate those efficiencies so that we can grow the economy beyond 1%. We are going to ensure that anybody who is the first in their family gets a scholarship, and that means for persons who are currently at university, we are going to ensure that those who are buying a house get the $500,000 deposit. And I want to assure persons who earn over 3.5 million that this tax benefit is for you too.
To Parliament, you don't have a bench warmer or a table knocker, but you have a champion who is ready to serve you. And so I do not have to ask, but I know no one me ask anyway. Northwest, St. Anne, are you ready?
Jamaicans Decide 2025. Join Make We Talk on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 for live coverage of Jamaica's election from Negril Point in the west to Moran Point in the east. We will be with you from 7 a.m. in the morning until the polls are closed on election night. Join in the panel discussion with political analysts. We'll be live on Jam Talk Vibes Internet Radio Station and Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. It's election night in Jamaica.
All right, let's continue the call. Hello, welcome caller.
You know,
John, thanks for holding. Yes.
Yeah, man, no problem, man. Just one last thing here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think Mr. Tufton told the shame of himself. And I was speaking to someone recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you say, yeah, build Ivy Tower, yeah, build this, yeah, build that. But the basic things in the hospitals are what is missing. And you know, what I'm doing is saying that people are more affected with whether they have beds, whether they have medication. Although them say they spend 3 million more on medication. But so what is the national health fund? What happened to those people? So what about the drugs for the elderly? What happened to those people? You get something, man. They got tough done. Should be ashamed of himself to talk about healthcare, because healthcare has been the worst that is in Jamaica.
John, I leave you with this. I saw a lady on one of the JLP ad, and she was showing medication, and she was talking about all the avenue that she got the medication from, and every single one of those avenue that she highlighted was set up by the PNP. Not saying that, you know, because government can't just stop things, but I think it is important to note that all of those areas, all of those things that she was benefited from was the wisdom of the PNP in setting up those things.
Respect our manners.
All right, all the best. Bless you.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue to take the calls. Thanks to John there for that one, and Michael is here as well. Hi, Michael. Hello, caller.
Hello, morning.
Morning, Al. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Mm-hmm.
After last night, 2-2, Uncle Julian, oh boy, I tell you, devastating.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Uncle Conrad.
Yes.
Uncle Julian has explained in its entirety how the 3.5 will be funded.
Mm-hmm.
And that argument ceased and closed according to TVJ this morning at 7:30 on TVJ News. Now,
sorry, what happened on TVJ News?
7:30 this morning on TVJ. The reporter or the newsreader said that Julian Robertson have explained the 3.5 how to be.
Yes, he did, and he did give the cost, and he said about $55 billion it would cost, you know, that kind of thing.
So,
as we say hi to Ambassador Ward, who is joining us as well. Go ahead, sir.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that argument, Julian has closed that argument.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Uncle Conrad, here we are, and I want to say something. Some of the questions that were asked last night of the panelists,
mm-hmm.
you know, I don't think that they were relevant to today's world. You've gone back a FinSac, right, to tell us about how you will manage and you bring out this FinSac was a disgrace, and FinSac was formed in order to see to it who those who know that those who lost their money. But their money.
But you know what, Al? The right persons were there to basically dispatch it. I think it was a little bit out of place from Al, but you know, that's what it is. He did his thing.
That young man when he asked, asking this question, I don't know who telling to ask them.
Well, let's say he asked them of his own volition. Al, he asked him. He was a questioner. Yes.
No, Conrad, I want to say this, Conrad.
Yeah.
We are at a crossroads in our nation, and we have to be now saying that it is not about us, it is about the generation to come. You know, I want to say this to Jamaica. Jamaica, listen to me. every time I hear the JLP said, Peter Bunting call and define intervention, as if to say, when you and I have struggles in our life, the only source that is sovereign that us to call to is the Almighty God, which is divine.
But Al,
who else should we call to?
Al,
Now,
1 second. Bobby Montague did make the same call, and nothing is wrong with that. Bobby Montague did call for divine intervention as well, you know. And nothing is wrong with it.
The reality, my brethren, it doesn't matter who calls. All of us should call on God when we have a problem.
Oh, yes.
The reality is that we should not set up tables and burn candles and call on Kepo. No, we shouldn't call on Kepo. But some people want to call and to evoke the spirit of Kepo. Yes.
Well, that's easy at all. Poor Kepo.
No, if you say it at closing time, we are going to call on divine intervention. Mark Golding, my friend, come a leader. I want you to put into your governance when you come to office, Mark Golding, that before cabinet started, we want to have a word of prayer in Jamaica House. And we're going to ask that the church go out into the public square and to have prayer, just like what I see the Baptist Church is doing in and around the country, to pray for our nation, because our nation needs prayer.
Yes.
What we're saying, and we say that we're asking Conrad Golding to ask the church to do that in every public square, to go out and have prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, having said that, Uncle Conrad, I want to ask you a question. This argument about Jamaica have the lowest unemployment, 3%, I do not buy it. And it doesn't matter where it comes from and who it comes from. I am my experience and my on the road every day and living it. What I am seeing on the road and out there is that on nomination day, 120,000 people between JLP and PNP running up and down across the country, and none of them was working. So I wanted to know how many people are employed. Just tell me, don't tell me I'm on a wiper class. And in wiper for one is employed. It's classified as an employee. Don't tell me that.
What?
Don't tell me. Right, Conrad?
Yeah, man, I want you to make your point, Al, because I have some others are not even intervening. Just stop.
What I'm also saying is that this argument that PNP has never run the country properly. I just heard you a while ago. All of what universal access fund, that the money is taken out of and all kind of thing. It's ideas on the PNP implementation, not idea.
It is an argument, I must intervene, Al. It's an argument that really has no value. For example, even yesterday in my opening commentary, I made the point that, listen, when the PNP was in office, the cost to produce electricity was 22 US cents per kilowatt hour. It is now almost 50 US cents. It never happened by accident. It happened because of the alternative energy that was brought into place, such as the Wicton wind farm and all sorts of things that are free power.
I want to say something this morning, my friend, in your opening remark, Conrad speak, and you said it well. You said that what the JLP is doing now in terms of paying down the debt is not by accident, it was by law, that it was a demand from the IMF. Hello?
Yeah, I'll rap from him. I have a few more rap from
It was a law that passed that this was, and this has not more than PNP JLP. So this paying down of debt is not anything that has come up with the JLP, said they must pay the debt and the PNP will not pay the debt. It is we who signed that law, signed that into law, to for anyone who comes to power has to pay down the debt.
And Julian and et al. Did remind the country last night of that. Have to leave you all. Have a few more to take.
I'll see you.
Yeah, man. See you later. Cool. Take it easy. Cool. Bless you. All right. Let's continue the calls. Hello. Welcome, caller. Caller? Hello, caller? Not hearing him or her. All right. So we continue to take your calls for the duration of the program. We have about 13 minutes or so to go. Numbers are 876-212-9824, 876-462-0919. Hello, welcome caller. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Conrad. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing? How are you doing, pensioner?
I'm doing great, man. I just want to add my take on the debate last night.
Go ahead, sir.
I think the People's National Party,
Mm-hmm.
they seem to me they were well prepared.
Mm-hmm.
They understand the issues as
Mm-hmm.
it relates to finance and economics.
Mm-hmm.
For Mrs. Williams, Civil Williams, the Honorable Minister,
Yes.
I get the impression that she was not prepared. And the reason for saying that is that the first question they asked her about funding the $15 million threshold, she came up with 25 million or billion.
25 billion.
That was way below billion.
Mm-hmm.
That was way below
Mhm.
what was expected or the projection.
Mm-hmm.
I think Miss Keisha Allen, she did a wonderful job. I think, as a matter of fact,
Anderson. Not Allen.
yes,
Anderson,
she asked
yeah.
the question of the night.
Uh-huh.
Our person's life better now than it was from 2015, 2016.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's a question that will resonate with the voters when they go to class.
Well, you recognize how much time Dr. Stokes spent on that. And he said that as a man who out there on the ground, you know, that is not the people, are not my words here, I'm paraphrasing, but the people certainly not feeling that they're better off though. So it was really, and he continued to stress that he believed that was the knockout punch there, or certainly one of the knockout punches.
Yes, I know Dr. Tufton, Conrad, I'm somewhat disappointed with the comment. What I gleaned from what he was saying near to the end of the debate is that basically if persons have water in their pipes and roads to drive on, then there's nothing wrong with corruption. That is what I get from it.
Yeah, and he keep on this. These are the things, and it begs the question why Chris is going down that route. He did it at the Linstead Hospital. When people asked him about the $31 million for the drill, when the drill was for $3 million, and he said that, listen, you're getting the use of the drill. The fact of the matter, if you buy something, you must get the use of it. We are talking about the money they spend, and it's the same thing that is plaguing this administration with the bus. Not about the bus per se, but the spend $1.4 billion. We are questioning those things. And Chris needs to get this, because failing to get this and continue to respond in this way, then certainly he showed himself in the cloud of corruption as well. He come across as if he is front and center in corruption.
Yes. And you know, Conrad, what I want to leave with Conrad is that when my Minister of Finance speak, he or she must speak with confidence. And I'm not getting that from Mrs. Williams. It is as if she doesn't understand what her role is during the debate last night. And it is evident that the teen debate was carried. As a result, I believe that the JLP was trying to protect her.
But it's clear. It is clear.
It should be one-on-one.
It is clear. It is clear.
One-on-one debate.
It is clear, my friend, and I don't know how many colleagues in media, in mainstream media, join me on that, but I will stand out there as a sore thumb. This debate was morphed into a group debate or a team debate to cover Minister Williams and so on, and I believe that it is wrong. Granted, the PNP put their team out there and they came out on top, but it was wrong. You have two people who want to be the second in the pecking order in government. Your finance minister, those two persons should be allowed on a head-to-head debate, a one-on-one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, brother.
That's my take for today. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
day.
All the best. Take care. Enjoy your lunch. All right. Good. So let's see if we have a few more. It's 11:48 on the clock. Call. All right. So the debate certainly on the mind and on the lips of many people. And of course, the consensus is that the People's National Party is now carrying a lead in the debate of 2-0. You know, for what it's worth, you know, of course, these are things that under normal circumstances, some people would say, boy, these debates carry weight and so on, and they will basically factor into an election. However, now that the PNP has won the 2 so far, you hear people moving away and say, boy, you know, the debate no matters and so on. So, you know, we can't have our cake and eat it. If the debate matters, it matters. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But certainly a debate is about putting your things out there and coming across credible and articulate as you can. And certainly the PNP is up on this debate for 2-0 so far. Hello, welcome caller.
Conrad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, I wanted to make a point about justice and freedom in this general election and our history.
Yeah,
you know?
quickly, cause I had
I know
you for a long
too,
time.
but I tried to see it was getting in the car.
Yeah, man, go
I'm
ahead.
saying, Conrad, PNP won the debate. Handsomely. Because you see, when you have a like guy that matter with JLP, you have a guy like Chris Tufton that been fixing Conrad Regional for 9 years as JLP main salesman in the debate. You understand what I'm saying? Just like the Prime Minister. A man whose integrity cannot be certified.
Well, it's filing, yes.
Main salesman. You get what I'm saying? As the Michael Mandy told us, integrity, and integrity. You understand? Can anybody tell us different? And like calling on God is wrong, and we're a Christian nation.
And that's why the point that Marie made, sir, earlier is such a very, very crucial point. Because all of a sudden, people want to come across and talk about corruption matters, and also it matters. It matters. We can't build a nation with our youngsters. And so what will we be? It means that a young man would see his mother or his father and tell him anything or her anything come to his mouth and so on and do anything, and we shouldn't pay that any mind, because all of those things dovetail into the whole corruption aspect and so on, and the lack of morals.
Conrad, you cannot say certain things to your teacher. You understand? You got to read school on time. That's the discipline. You got to have manners. And so you can respect the rule of laws and the police and so who enforce it. And our officials just they deserve respect too. But and
Sir, the Prime Minister and a number of his members, they are in a bind going into the election. Integrity must be on the ticket next week, Wednesday this time. It must be.
Right. Conrad, one of the things, man, JLP preach no to SOE. SOE means you operate without habeas corpus, without freedom right. The fact that you were not arrested them means you could still be arrested at any time once your zone was on the SOE.
Yeah, man.
You had no freedom right, just like those who were arrested.
Because once you walk into the zone, you're automatically
with freedom rights. Because there's still an appeal PNP win. And a PNP win, let the crime reduction, because return to freedom policing and producing. Better result is just a mere coincidence that it's happening at the tail end of JLP. No 5 in 4, no 4 in 5.
And as Peter Bunting made a very crucial point last night when he reminded Jamaica that under any Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness have the record of the most poorest people murder in any 2 term of government in Jamaica.
And the most SOE, the most freedom rights governance coming from a party that demonized Michael Mandy would have lifted the knee to apologize to Michael Mandy.
It's a whole assault going on the election. Trust me, there are so many things going on.
The coming up, let's not tell you. None but ourselves. Have no fear for atomic energy.
Yes.
But none of them can stop the time.
All right, my friend. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Freedom is all we have to have.
All right, thanks a lot, my friend. All right, so let's finish off because we are coming to the end. Oh, we have one. Let's see if we can take this one quickly. Hello, welcome, caller. Caller?
Yes, Mr. O'Brien. How are you, sir?
I am very well, thank you, man. How are you doing?
Well, may I humble myself and I rest with my mother and I listen to you. But I just want a message to the people
Yes.
that calls you all the time.
Yes.
Whenever you hear Mr. O'Brien said, I have to leave it there, please don't continue to talk because he's running a show and he's also running on timing. I'm speaking to the brothers and the sisters who call and want to go overtime and singing. You sing and send in a WhatsApp and he will play. You have to give this man his respect and his due diligence according to how he's working people.
Thank you very much,
we
sir.
have to leave it there,
Thank you.
we'd have to leave it.
Thank you very much.
Anger him in his studio when he's pushing his calls and giving you a time. Mr. O'Brien, continue to do the good job, and we just deal with righteousness and justice. And I know that the PNP is dealing with righteousness. And that's it, sir. Peace and love.
God bless you. Have a good one. Join me again tomorrow. Thanks for the call. Call me a little earlier so you can expound a bit more. All right. So it's how much minutes we have, Madam Producer? About 2 or 3? 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes. If you call quick, you can get in 60 seconds. All right. So let's see. We on the front page of the Gleaner, it talk about this Jamaican 10 billion underspend threatens growth, says Fiscal Commissioner. All right. So what is going on there? And of course, the Gleaner headlines today talk about the grounded Jamaica post halt. All right. So, of course, this is as a result of the tariff that kicks in today. So it's now creating a problem at Jamaica Post as it relates to parcels and so on and so forth. I think today is the final day that they will be able to accept those or send off. But come from tomorrow and so on, there will be certain things impacting us as a result of the tariff by Donald Trump. Of course, we have 2 very, very sad stories that we get one out of Jamaica sent and where 2 young children are missing. The police are combing the Monique area trying to find those 2 young children, one 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. And of course, out of Minneapolis, there in the United States, Tim Walls and his team up there dealing with this very, very horrific situation with a mass shooting at a Catholic school in the United States this morning. So we continue to watch those stories, and of course we offer our condolences and sympathies. I want to say thanks to all of you who participate today. Thanks to Jeffrey Tavares and the YouTube channel. Thanks to all listeners here, and indeed to on behalf of my producer Conrad OBrian. Say join me again tomorrow.
The preceding hour.
Thank you all very much for coming on. I'm Jeffrey Tavares saying it has been a momentous occasion. It's been a great morning to listen to what is going on over there at News Talk 93 FM, courtesy of Conrad OBrian and the Straight Up team. We are going to go off air now. It has been a great morning, but I want to do something before I go off air to speak to the people of Port Antonio, Portland. Let me take this off of here and speak to our people. It was brought to my attention that there are some people going around paying election day workers up to 100,000 Jamaican dollars in Portland. It was brought to my attention that there is an individual in the high up of the Parliament of Jamaica who is going around in Portland paying off election day workers not to go to work. They're paying off People's National Party election day workers up to 100,000 Jamaican dollars. It is against the law. And what the people need to do is to video them or tape them when they call their phones. Tape them or video them when they call their phones. When they video them, when they're giving you the money, video them. get to understand a well-prominent individual in the belly of the Jamaica Labour Party is paying off election day workers, PNP election day workers in Port Antonio, in Portland. But they must stay home. Let me address the people of Portland and election day workers. $100,000 can't do one damn thing compared to 5 years of hardship, 5 years of nepotism, 5 years of cronyism and corruption in this country. Do not take the money. If you take the money, go out and work. Election day workers, you must not be so gullible. The Jamaican people is depending on you people. Your sons and your daughters are depending on you. $100,000 can't do nothing. Do not take that money. And to the voters of Portland, both East and West Portland, you need to send a clear message to Darrell Vaz and Anne-Marie Vaz. Do not put them back in. Because if you do, your corners will be dark. To the transport sectors of our country, to the bus and taxi operators of Jamaica, send a clear message to Darrell Vaz and Andrew Holness, to the civil servants of our country, the nurses, the doctors, and the teachers. Send a clear message to Christopher Tufton and Andrew Holness, the teachers of this country. Send a clear message to Dana Morris Dixon and Andrew Holness. You, the civil servants and police officers of Jamaica and the Defense Force, on Friday you go out and vote. Vote for a better Jamaica. Vote for a better Jamaica. Police officers, men and women, vote for a better Jamaica. Send Andrew Holness and Minister Horace Chang a clear message. Members of the JCF, members of the JCF, the JTA, teachers, wake up in this country. This is what we're going to say so long from here until the next time. Until you hear my voice again, I'm Jeffrey Tavares saying so long. May God bless you and may God bless our island's home. Jamaica.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.